Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And we have a serious episode for you guys here today that you definitely want to stick around for. You don't want to miss a second what we're going to talk about today. So make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I've always said this, right? The video evidence is out there. We've said this on many occasions. I believe that Shannon Sharpe is one of the best sports voices in media, period. Right? Globally, wherever you want to go, I think he's one of the best. He is sharp, he's witty, he's funny, and he can also be very, very passionate, which makes him relatable and genuine to a lot of people, especially when he's discussing broad issues. Now, sometimes, to be fair, and I've said this before, I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you guys, sometimes he does lose some objectivity when he talks about LeBron James, but hey, people could say that about me. Hey, man, you lose your objectivity when you talk about Kobe, Kawhi, whatever it is, but that's just something there. But I do believe, however, that Shannon Sharpe is at his very best when he is discussing societal issues. And his latest remarks on the Brett Farve situation serve as another great example of exactly what I'm trying to tell, what I just said to you guys, what I aforementioned to you guys just now. The Brett Farve scandal seems to have been flying under the radar for the last week or so, right? Last week or two. No one has really focused much about this. One or two people have spoken about it. Obviously, they touched on it on Undisputed. But Shannon Sharpe took it upon himself to give his candid and unfiltered view on the Brett Farve scandal, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. So for those of you who probably missed it, what we want to do is we want to play what he had to say about Brett Farve. It's a bit lengthy, but I want you to listen to it in its entirety because, you know, everything that he said was spot on, and then we're going to come back and react to it. So take a listen to that here.
Shannon, how much do you think this could tarnish Brett Favre's legacy?
Well, I don't think none can tarnish it, because if you go back and look at his history when he played in the NFL, they should have tarnished it already. I talked to people that was in the room when Brett Favre went into the Hall of Fame, and nobody mentioned about text messages that he sent to that jet masseuse. Nobody mentioned anything about the addiction that he suffered from. But yet T.O., they brought up everything. Can you imagine if T.O. would have had an incidents like Brett Favre off the field? T.O. still, to this day right now, would not be in the Hall of Fame. Yet they walked right past it like Brett Favre did nothing.
That is true. I give you that.
The problem that I have with this situation, you got to be a sorry mofo to steal from the lowest of the low. Skip, Mississippi is the poorest state in our country.
It is.
Its citizens. So if they're the poorest state, Brett Favre is taken from the underserved. You made $100+ million in the NFL. And they're talking about, well, he didn't know. This is what Brett Favre texted. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? So if you got to ask this question, is there any way the media can find out? You already know you're doing something wrong. The mere fact that you don't want anybody to know. So you know you're doing something wrong. And Skip, he wanted to seem so philanthropic. He wanted to change the perception of the narrative. He take money for some damn volleyball arena.
Well, his
daughter played. You see what Brett Favre did for his alma mater? No, he didn't get no money came out of his pocket. He stole money from people that really needed that money.
Yep.
Man, this is embarrassing. And he's not the only one. Ted DiBiase, a former wrestler, even Marcus Dupree, a great running back at the school that you loved growing up, Oklahoma. He got money. How can you got to be really low to take from the poorest of the poor? Brett, you ain't got enough money? Okay, Skip, listen. You know you're not supposed to have this. But how about go give the damn speeches? They're paying you to give speeches, and you didn't even give the speeches. And now you won't even pay the money back. And they fired one of the guys that say he tried to recoup the money. They fired him he was a Clinton appointee. This was political.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you get the money back? Have nothing to do with politics. The man and this is what we know. Skip, when black and brown people do fraud the government, they hell bent. You get an EBT card and you get WIC and you get stuff like that, boy, they move heaven and earth to try to put you in jail for $400 little measly dollars.
Fact.
Now this man done took $1 million. Somebody got $3 million. Somebody got $400,000.
Yep.
And they sitting around like, well, you know, it happened and we'll see. And they're going to get more money and do it all over again.
And to your point, the Mississippi Department of Human Services had to file a civil lawsuit against Brett Favre because he had not paid back the interest he owed on the 1.1 million that he was fraudulently given for giving no speeches.
Right. And he won't even pay the 1.1 back. He won't even pay the interest on the money.
Right. It's $228,000.
I mean, you got to be really low.
Yeah.
You got to be really low. And people and politicians, you got to be really low too. To know that this money is supposed to go to the most underserved, and you take it and give it to people that's made millions or got millions or have the potential to make millions, and you're willing to do that, you're willing to let your people starve, you let your people go underserved, and Brett Favre, you took this money, ain't nothing good. Skip, this is what we know.
Yeah.
If people like you, there is nothing you can do to turn them against you.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this before now. We see what's going on right now. We got people bending themselves, becoming contortionists, trying to explain away what somebody doing with top secret documents at their location. They bend themselves in pretzel.
Mm-hmm.
They looking like Neo in the Matrix.
Yep.
So nothing Brett Favre can do. But he's been a sleazeball. He's been shady for a very, very long time.
So you heard what Shannon Sharpe had to say there. And we produce another show, depending on which order you're seeing these shows, about what Nick Wright had to say. And I said in that video, I'm really going to expand my thoughts here. So here are my thoughts on this entire matter. I read a bit about what transpired in this story, and you guys, if you didn't hear it, you can go watch the other Nick Wright video where we covered that. We read an article that pretty much entails, they gave it the skinny on the entire situation. But I have to say this about Brett Favre and people like him. Some people, and I mean this, some people simply do not care who they harm as long as they are getting theirs. Some people simply do not care about anything but themselves and maybe their inner circles, immediate circle. That's about it. Some people have a callous approach, a cavalier, callous approach to other human beings that are not related to them or that they directly know. This is just the fact of the matter. Based on what I have read from this story, Brett Favre seems to not give a damn about the people he affected with his actions. How do I know this? Because the story said, what's the solution? What's the end game of that entire story? Funneling money to what? To a school to go do something like that'll benefit what you, your daughter, whatever it is. That's the end game. That's how you know that these guys simply don't give a damn. They're people like really people can be this cold-hearted. Yes, people can. There are a lot of them out there. Wicked people. They don't care about nothing but themselves. Now, here's the irony about this. The irony is, here you have a multimillionaire multiple times over, essentially stealing money. What did you do with all your money, Brett Favre? Oh, wait a minute. You probably still have a good amount of it, but you're like, hey, I can always take more. And if it means taking from poor people, disenfranchised people, people that have been, people that have, had a tough hand in life, so be it. It doesn't really matter. That's the type of person we're talking about here. You gotta be something else to take from poor people. Usually, human beings that are empathetic, sympathetic, let me say this, to the struggles that other people go through that maybe they themselves are not going through, they will feel something when they see people in need. They feel something. But with people like Brett Favre and some of the actors in this scandal, they don't even give a damn. And the sad part is there are a lot of people like this in the world. Here's another reason, and here's something I want to point out. For those of you that have been on this channel for quite some time, what did I tell you guys? We've always said we don't discuss politics. Why did I say I don't discuss politics? Because I hate politics. I've made it crystal clear. All they do is play games with people's lives. I used to be so invested in politics until I realized I'm part of the game. The joke was also on me. So I never discuss politics whatsoever. There are no type of crooks out there like politicians. And it's no surprise that in this particular case, a former governor is being mentioned in the story. A governor of a state is being mentioned in the story. Political corruption happens everywhere in the world. Some countries are honest about them and about their corruption, and other countries are still waiting to be honest with the rest of us. Everywhere there's politics, there is corruption. If this is true, he should pay the price, and anybody else involved in the matter. They should pay the price. Stealing from the poor is evil. It is evil. No amount of love you have for the way a guy threw a football should come in the way of you being a decent person and a human being and denouncing this type of madness. It's an abomination that you find yourself in a story like this. It says a lot about you, Brett Favre, and people that support this nonsense, and people that were part of this, and people that engage in this type of behavior, for you to do something like this. To the poor. You're not afraid of God? To the poor. Wow. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, and we catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.